Alright, I'm going to start doing some videos in my car while I'm waiting in traffic. So, anyways, been out to clubs, you know, on and off my whole life, but you know, all these realizations really dawned on me is, you know, it's such a market out there in these clubs, you know, all the hip, swanky clubs with the fucking DJ, and not even a DJ really, just like live, no, not live music, not that either, what am I trying to say? You know, pre-recorded hip music, dance music, bass and drum music. You know, it attracts, you know, this breed of people, and it's so shallow and superficial because everybody there is with the intent to hook up, really. Women are there secretly to hook up, but they disguise it by going with their girlfriends, but they want to hook up. Not a hook up necessarily sex, but they want to meet a guy and have an adventure, have something fun. And no matter whether that is a kiss or a hug or just a great conversation, or maybe for some skanky hoes and some fucking perverted dudes, you know, an actual piece of ass that night, which I find morbidly disgusting. But that's just my character, you know, and I play the bad boy role, but in reality I've always been a romantic. Most of my girlfriends I've always had for a couple years. Wouldn't be lying if I said, you know, most of them were virgins when I met them. And we just dissolved at the same time. It wasn't like I banged them and left them, or they banged me and left me. And ironically enough, it seems like it meant more to me that I took their virginity than it did to them. For some reason, I thought that meant you were forever, but it doesn't. So don't be confused with that. In fact, my buddy who died in a car wreck, his girlfriend cheated on him like the week before he died, and she was a virgin. So I don't really think there's any clause to think that they're dedicated to you. But anyway, back to the subject of there's this big market there, and you know, it's totally shallow, and it's so annoying because like all the guys are walking around, and it's like uniformity to the extreme. All the guys have got a fucking polo shirt and khakis, right, and some, you know, short haircut, and they're totally alpha male. Oh, I'm just so hip, I'm so cool, and I never fit into that. But you know, you desire the attention enough to where I was willing to go incognito of myself just to see if I could get a response. And it's shallow, and I realize, you know, you gotta be yourself, and I guarantee you half these guys aren't. They're just trying to hook up, and, you know, it's just a bad market to try to pick people up in. Don't go to a club trying to pick somebody up. Go maybe for, at most, maybe an interesting conversation with some stuck-up, superficial bitch, more than likely, totally shallow, and it's all based on looks. It's worse than Tinder, where it's a completely attraction-based look. And looking back, a lot of the girls that I met that I really liked, initially I wasn't just swept off my feet, but I got to talking to them, and I built value in them, and, you know, I realized they were really cool, and there were certain things about them that were really hip, and, you know, I realized they had depth and maturity and all these things. And you don't see any of that from a picture or, you know, a glance through a fucking shot glass at a bar. So my advice, in short, would be, you know, if you're looking to like hook up with somebody, go to somewhere that's realistic, like a fitness center. You know, it's always good to be in shape. You know, get off your fat ass and go meet somebody at the gym. Compliment somebody on their body. This works for girls and guys. You know, compliment on their body, how long you've been working out, you know, and it's not so shallow and superficial. And yeah, you know, you might be hoping to hook up with them and take them to dinner or something, but, you know, it doesn't seem that way. You know, you just happen to be at the same event, you're doing the same thing, you're in the same place, so go for that. You know, another great place is books. A lot of people that have depth read books. I read books. People that I like read books. It just adds a level of, I don't know, maturity, I guess. So I would shoot for bookstores, you know, don't be obvious. Don't like go picking chicks up like, hey, nice book, and you want to have sex, or something like that. But, you know, something along the lines of, you know, just being confident in yourself, and don't modify what you look like to fit into a crowd in the hopes that you'll increase your chances, because I think it rubs off the wrong way when people realize that that's not who you really are. You're not that way. It's false advertising. And not only false advertising to be the shallow, superficial, stuck-up jerk, asshole, or bitch. I mean, that's just, I don't know. Anyways, I'm done with this video.